What's up everybody? Simon here. In this video, we're going to talk about the one thing that all of us want to do, which is get into real estate, maybe flip some homes, buy low, remodel, sell high, etc. But right now, we're going to talk about how difficult that market is, how it is badly reminiscent of what happened in 2006 to 2008 when the housing market crashed and home flippers were in trouble. In this video, we're going to talk about home flipping and how much trouble home flippers are in today. Before I get into this video, please like the video, subscribe to the channel. It's free. I appreciate it. Let's get into it. Okay, so I've known some home flippers. In 2006, were making crazy money. They were buying up homes. They were doing light remodels with like Home Depot cabinets, something cheap and affordable. And at the same time, they were putting it back on the market and making crazy money. Back then, homes were a lot cheaper than they are today. However, recently, a lot more people are getting into the game. And with home flippers in that 2006 to 2008 crash, a lot of them were basically in trouble, bankrupt, with nothing to their name except the t-shirt that they were wearing. Now, I wasn't one of those home flippers. I personally was too young to have that type of equity back then. However, what I'm seeing today is the same thing. What's happening with this rising interest rate, and the interest rate is above 7%, it's set to rise another 1.5% by the end of the year, maybe the first quarter of next year, to curb this inflation we're having. So we're going to see houses drop even more. So if you bought a home, say 6 months to a year ago, you've been remodeling it and you put it back on the market, now you are going to have a hard time selling that property. With mortgage rates soaring and no letdown in sight, people just cannot afford the same houses. We're seeing homes that are in contract accepting backup offers. That's the first time I've seen that in the last 5 years. Browsing Redfin and Zillow and some of the other apps out there, you're basically seeing homes that are continuously pushing for backup offers and agents really worried that financing will not come through. The financing part of the whole industry has halted. No one is refinancing and people are not able to get that loan. Experienced home flippers are calling this a correction period, and the Fed Chair Jerome Powell calls it a difficult correction period. So overall, home flippers are in major trouble right now. With analytics out there, home prices are expected to decline by 10%. Now, if you go, well, 10% is actually not as bad as we've seen the home prices climb. They've rose over 30% in some areas in the past year. So 10% drawback, well, again, that's not a crazy amount of drop. However, it does affect certain home flippers that have bought their home at a certain time where 10% is a lot of value. And keep in mind, a home flipper has to remodel the home and then put it back on the market. There's an agent commission, there's the remodeling cost, there's the mortgage cost, the interest rate of a construction loan, and so forth. So there's a lot to play into this. The economics of flipping homes are simple. If you don't know what they are basically when flippers flip the home for profit after purchasing it below what they're selling it at, simply doing a remodel or refresh of the property and then putting it back out on the market. The faster you could do that, the lower your costs are. But has anyone ever tried to remodel something and do it on time? Contractors always are delayed. Supplies are delayed, and we've seen some of the worst supply delays with this year and the previous year. And with home flippers bearing all those costs, they typically gain money on the appreciation from the time that they buy the home to the time that they sell the home. And if you're in a booming real estate market like we were earlier this year, that appreciation was significant. But if you bought a home recently, you're not part of that appreciation anymore. And with TV shows like HGTV flipping shows, celebrity shows, Flip It Like Disick, people are thinking, hey, I could do this too. And these inexperienced flippers are going to be the ones that are in most trouble. As someone that's remodeled several properties with and without general contractors, I know how hard that is. And to be stuck in this economy, it's going to be a tough one. What's worse for home flippers is not only are the mortgage rates super high, but with home flippers, we're also seeing expensive material rising costs. So overall costs to purchase drywall, wood, you name it, is much higher. And on top of that, the labor rates have gone up so much higher that we have seen a kind of a tornado to affect a home flipper's prices. So what would I do in this situation? Well, I have a buddy that recently bought a home in a wealthy, affluent town nearby. He purchased that home for 5.5 or 5.8 million, somewhere around there. In order to flip it, he bought this home about 9 months ago, before we've seen these crazy interest rates. Remember, the interest rates have doubled since the beginning of the year. And what's happening now is he put this home back on the market for $8.3 million after putting quite a good amount of money into it. But he won't be able to sell it, or he can't sell it at this time because the interest rate makes that $8 million home almost unaffordable. It's like buying an $11 million home in some cases. And that is an incredible price jump because of doubling interest rates. So what should you do if you are going to get into flipping homes? One, my advice is to make sure that if you're going to buy a home to flip, you buy the cheapest possible entry point in your area. If the entry point in your area's home district or neighborhood, etc., is $1 million, you want to buy a home around $900,000 to $1 million. Don't buy a $1.5 million home to flip. Always count the square feet. That's where you get most of your value. But especially for novice flippers, you want to make sure that you get a small home that you could get in and get out of. You don't want to over leverage yourself. And that's point number 2. Never over leverage yourself. Have your costs ready, stick to budget, and stick to a timeline. Don't go for a big property in your first few home flips if you don't know what you're doing. Get a 2-bedroom, maybe even a 3-bedroom if you could push it, and get rid of that 2 or 3-bedroom right away to get your money back. 3, always account for more expenses. So if I have a budget of $200,000 to flip a home or to remodel a home, I probably will add 20% to that. So that would be a budget of $240,000. So that's kind of where you need to be, or that's the reserves you need to have. Flipping homes is not as easy anymore. There's a lot of competition. Depending on where you live, you may also have competition with contractors and people that are more experienced than you. So find the best budget places you could get materials from and the better labor. Once you do a few homes, then you could up your scale, but never over leverage on a property that's 5+ million. In my opinion, that's dangerous. I'd rather have 2 or 3 properties at 1 point something million than buy a $5 million home and stress that one property to sell. It's just a big, big stress to carry on your shoulders to not get rid of a property at that value. So whether if you're in Beverly Hills or in Palm Beach or nice neighborhoods throughout the United States, you need to understand that you cannot over leverage any type of home flip possible. Always buy the cheapest place in the best neighborhood or the best area, even if it's a rundown place, because your value only counts as square feet and nothing more. So even though the home flipping is very reminiscent of the 2008 crash, which I've known so many people lose their ass on, where they lost all their money, all their investments, etc., this time and this economy freaks me out just as much because of the high rates, the crazy inflation, and just so many things happening in the world where costs are rising on everything and there's so much uncertainty. And if you're in areas like Phoenix, Las Vegas, and some of the other areas that's seen a crazy boom in real estate prices, you're out of luck because those areas tend to go down first, and then areas like the Bay Area and some of the more in-demand areas go down afterwards, while thus maintaining competition. So although we've seen prices drop in the San Francisco Bay Area, we're still seeing a better overall price point than a lot of the other areas that are in less demand because of options to build homes is not existent. So if you live in an area where they could keep building homes or keep building condos, then you might not be in a good area for investments. If you're in an area where there are no more homes to build because there's no more land, such as Palm Beach, such as Beverly Hills, such as San Francisco and Manhattan, etc., then that might be a good area to continue investing in. But remember, if you do, keep the investment low, keep your budget low, calculate for overspending, calculate for delays because they will happen, calculate for supply increases during those times, and just keep making money if you can, but be very careful. So home flippers, good luck to you. I hope you all make it out of this crazy time, which I think is going to carry into next year. If you enjoyed this video, comment below, let me know. Also add your 2 cents and like the video, subscribe to the channel. It's free. I appreciate it. I'll catch you guys here in the next one.